Now, chances are, if you have a cat or a dog, it probably has a dental disease. And unless you're taking that pet in for regular checkups, you wouldn't even know that they're having a rough time. Dr. Nicole, I should say, Rouse, is here to share the telltale signs owners need to know. Good morning, Nicole. Now, how common is dental disease?
Thank you for having me.
A pleasure. It's a pleasure. How common is dental disease in pets? Do they have tartar and plaque just like us?
Absolutely. Dental disease is so much more common than a lot of people realise. The research shows up to 80% of dogs and almost the same level of cats have dental disease by the age of 3. And unfortunately, just like us, eating normal food, so for pets, meat and kibble, isn't enough to keep their teeth clean. So we need a good dental prevention strategy for them too.
Is it mainly just dirty teeth and bad breath, or is it worse than that?
It can be a lot worse than that. I think the tricky thing for pet parents is that a dog or a cat is not going to show signs of dental pain. They're not going to tell you they've got a toothache, so it can be really hard to tell. And then the problem with dental disease, you're getting a build-up of bad bacteria, and that bad bacteria is going to go through the whole body, and that's going to affect organ function, gut function, and just general health. So it's definitely important to pay attention to.
And Nicole, as you say, your dog isn't going to tell you that they have a toothache or something like that. So what are the signs that people need to look out for?
Yeah, so there's really obvious signs like bad breath. Everyone's familiar with bad dog breath. But the important thing to know is that a lot of the dental disease actually starts under the gum line. So you're not going to even know a lot of the signs. But definitely bad breath is a common one. Red, inflamed gums, just like we do. And interestingly, you'll see the tartar like that, sort of white-yellow build-up. But if you see it in an an abnormal area, so just one tooth or one area is quite heavily affected, then that shows that that area is really painful. And I think it's really important that pet parents frequently check their dog's mouth so they're familiar with what their pet's normal is, so they know when it's altered or changing and they can get attention or help.
Now, something that's coming to mind for me right now is, should we be brushing our pets' teeth?
Wouldn't I love that if all pet parents brush their dog's teeth? Look, absolutely, it's the gold standard. I would love if all pet parents brush their teeth, but I do find a lot of pet parents are quite overwhelmed with the idea of brushing teeth. So I've got Pudding here. She's one of my dogs, so I thought I could do a really quick demo of how to introduce it. The important thing is to not overwhelm them and do it. Are you excited? Not do it too quickly. So what I tend to do is use lots of rewards. So I'll just get them used to be touching their gums, and then I'll use a little reward, like a little treat, and make sure that they're comfortable that it's going to be a positive experience. And then I'll get a little bit of pet-friendly toothpaste, and then I'll just rub it on their teeth, and then a reward. And if you take your time and build up slowly, once they're confident, you can introduce a finger brush or a toothbrush, and you'll get really confident at brushing their teeth, even these little dogs. And keep it really positive so it can become a long-term habit. Good job, Pudding. And just a bit of a word of warning there, make sure it is pet-friendly toothpaste, because there's lots of additives in human toothpaste that are toxic for pets, like xylitol, which is a sweetener that is in a lot of human toothpaste. So only use pet toothpaste.
Okay, wow, I've never heard of that. And what about dental chews? We hear a lot about those and they're supposedly good for teeth. Are they a substitute?
Yeah, look, it would be nice if they were. There's certainly no substitute for brushing, but definitely there's a lot of benefits for chewing. So chewing is good to mechanically remove the plaque and tartar. Pudding's just heading off for, I've got a couple of demo chews here. It's really good for removing the plaque and tartar, but it's actually good for their mental health too. It helps them release all the happy hormones. So you'll see some dental sticks on the market are designed for the dogs to really get into them and chew them. Then you really want to find something that's going to last for 20 minutes. And otherwise you've got some dental sticks that are more designed with actives in them. So they'll have ingredients in them that will concentrate in the saliva and that will reduce plaque and tartar buildup, and they're less relevant to last that 20 minutes to mechanically clean the teeth. But it's definitely a word of warning for a lot of pet parents. It's really important to check the ingredients on a lot of these dental chews. The industry is not that well regulated, so you need to be familiar. There's a lot of additives and synthetics and things like that, and they can be full of carbohydrates a lot of the time, which can sort of not be really beneficial for their dental health long term.
Nicole, let me just say that if Pudding ever needs babysitting, I would like to put my hand up to do it, because he or she is very, very cute. But also something...
Thank you.
Well, they're welcome. There's a lot of controversy around feeding bones to dogs. I grew up on a farm. We always gave our dogs bones. What's your take now that we know more, perhaps?
Yeah, so look, you will find a lot of controversy around bones, absolutely. Lots of people will say black and white, steer clear of them. I'm personally a pro raw bone feeding vet. The reason is I think that dental disease just impacts their health so much, and they get so much joy out of chewing bones. And I think if you take a few golden rules, I find most pet parents are quite comfortable with them. Obviously, with everything in life, there's a degree of risk. But for me, just make sure you never feed cooked bones. That's really important. They can splinter and cause issues. And then I tend to recommend that people avoid weight-bearing bones. So the really big leg bones, big arm bones, they're so hard that they'll actually carry a high risk of breaking their teeth, especially those back teeth, and that becomes an expensive dental. But also they're often full of a lot of marrow, that really rich, fatty inside. And for a lot of dogs that are fed kibble and that's all they're fed, that can be just a bit too rich on their tummies. So I've got a couple of bones. I'll do a little demo for you. My favourite sort of bones are, this is a brisket. So this is, you're looking at more your ribs and things like that. And the nice raw meaty bones, they'll be good because they'll use their back chewing teeth, but they'll also use their front tearing teeth and really get into it. Just have to be a little bit careful if they're cut with a machine and they have sharp edges, and you might have to file them back a bit. Then for the littler dogs or for the puppies, I like to choose more like the poultry sort of bones. So legs, necks, things like that. And if you're new to feeding bones, find something like a turkey neck, and then you can hold one end of it, and so the dog can learn to chew, because otherwise they can guzzle it and obviously choke, and that's one of the big stresses or concerns for pet parents to deal with a choking dog. So I think if you do it well, it can be such a beneficial part of their dental prevention and just their general diet.
Well, call me crazy, but all this talk about bones, I'm starving. Dr. Nicole, that was fantastic. Great information. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well,